Hi, so my name is Aaron. This is going to be my review of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. It's a superhero movie where the main thrust of the story deals with the aftermath of Man of Steel, and it deals with how Batman feels about Superman after that, and ultimately results in their fight. Also the Dawn of Justice stuff, but I'm going to get to that later. It stars Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Jesse Eisenberg, Amy Adams, Gal Gadot, and a bunch of other actors. I wasn't a huge fan of Man of Steel, not a huge Zack Snyder fan, but I was excited for this movie for a couple of reasons. Just the idea of Batman and Superman fighting is just, that's what every kid growing up, that's their dream movie. I'm a huge fan of Ben Affleck. I love his work. So I was just excited to see how he would handle the character Batman. I know a lot of people were upset at Daredevil, but I feel like that was so long ago. He's evolved as an actor, so I was willing to give him a shot. And he was definitely the best part of the entire movie. He physically looked like Batman. He was super big. He looked like he trained in martial art, trained in fighting. He was just like an intimidating presence whenever he was on screen, but you could also tell that he was wounded. You could tell he was dealing through some stuff. He was an older Batman. He had been Batman for 20 years. He had seen some stuff, essentially. I thought that was an interesting take on Batman. Everything with Batman in this movie worked for me. The action scenes were great. The scenes with Alfred were amazing. I just really want Batman's solo movie like now. I feel like Ben Affleck could handle it. I also like the idea of Superman being ostracized by society. Kind of a spoiler for the Man of Steel movie, but in the third act of the movie, fight between him and Zod, they pretty much destroy Metropolis. In this movie, Superman is kind of seen as like an outcast or like this alien that can destroy humanity at a moment's notice. I think that is an interesting way to view Superman. Definitely something that we haven't seen in any other Superman movie. I thought Henry Cavill did a really good job showing how conflicted he was with trying to do the right thing and then having people say that he is a terrible person. And also there's like scenes where like he's seen as a god, like a literal god, and people are like worshiping him and making statues to him, and I thought that was interesting, even though it was kind of over the top with the religious overtones. Across the board, there was great acting. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was really good. She just seemed like she was having a great time in the role. I like Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I just like the brother relationship in this movie as opposed to in other movies where Alfred and Batman are more father and son. He just seems like he's just done with Bruce's doing, and I just thought that was really funny. It was a gorgeously shot movie. Zack Snyder is a phenomenal visual director, and you can definitely tell with this movie that he had a lot of fun with this movie. It literally looked like something out of a comic book, but I mean, that's to be expected. He directed movies like Sucker Punch and Watchmen. They look like they came out of a comic book panel. This isn't a perfect movie by any means. One of my biggest problems with the movie is the character Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg. I'm a huge Jesse Eisenberg fan. I've been a fan probably 5 or 6 years. This role was just a total miscast for me. I just thought that the characterization of Lex Luthor in this movie was super weird. I don't understand why they went the direction they went. It was just really cartoony to me. He was kind of like this like annoying billionaire son. He inherited this company after his father died, I guess. I mean, that's an interesting way to do it, but I just felt like the way that Jesse Eisenberg and I guess the script meshed together just didn't work well. I don't like how they did this whole role. And the motivation for Lex Luthor was pretty extinct. I guess they explained why he did the things he did. It just felt like the script had to do these things, and it just didn't feel like something a real person would do. I felt like his ultimate evil plan that, you know, a villain should have, it was just the most convoluted thing I've ever seen in a movie. It was just really dumb to me. There's so many plots going on in this movie. You have Batman dealing with his stuff. You have Superman dealing with how society feels about him. You have Lois Lane with her really odd journalism storyline. You have Lex Luthor's stuff. You have Wonder Woman, and you have the Dawn of Justice. That's like 5 or 6 plots in a 2.5-hour movie. I would really have liked it if they had focused on Batman and Superman. That was a really interesting concept, and they just went over the top with the storylines that they had in the movie. There were some really weird script choices, like how they put the other members of the Justice League that weren't Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. That was a really weird scene, and I felt like a 5-year-old wrote that scene. Like, it just felt really out of place, and I felt like that was like a first draft thing, and they just didn't even care about that at that point. Lois Lane Wayne's plot outside of the Superman interactions were weird. I thought Amy Adams did a good job, but the script was really weird. She was like a damsel in distress, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like she was given like a really good storyline. Everything about Lex Luthor was just odd to me. I don't understand why they did the things they did with him. The way that Batman and Superman resolved their fights, to me, only makes sense if Batman is insane. But the thing about that is that they don't explain that Batman is insane. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just really dumb, and it just was just tonally, it was like funny, but it wasn't supposed to be funny. So that was just a really weird moment for me. Maybe the extended cut that Zack Snyder said is coming out might explain that, but yeah, that was just really weird to me. If you've seen the second trailer for the movie, you've seen the entire movie. There's really no surprises left. It's really odd to me that they actually allowed that trailer to be released. It's not really a criticism of the movie per se, but it's just of the advertising team. Overall, I thought it was an enjoyable movie. It was a good popcorn flick. The action was really good. I understand the critics' thoughts on the movie, but I didn't think it was like, it's like a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it was that bad of a movie. I was originally gonna give this a 6, but the Batman stuff bumped my rating up to a 7. I would really love to see Ben Affleck get a chance to do his own Batfleck movie. That would be really fun for me to see, and I think giving him the opportunity to write and direct this movie would be really interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. All right, bye.